All right, we're all set. We're recording, and Laura, if you want to take it away.
Sure. So good afternoon, everyone. Happy that our membership is able to join us today for a very important webinar as we start to prepare for the Winter Fancy Food Show. Some of you may or may not know me. My name is Laura Santella Saccone, and I'm the Vice President Chief Marketing Officer at the Specialty Food Association. I'm actually going on 2 years in the next month, so it's been a wonderful 2 years and getting to know the membership in the process. Many of you I may not know, so I'm hoping we'll get an opportunity through both the winter and the summer show to meet each other. So please, if you do see me on the show floor, please come up to me and introduce yourself to me. Our team is super excited to get ready for the winter show. We work year-round, obviously, to service our members, with the 2 shows being one of our most important priorities. And particularly for the Winter Fancy Food Show, we are working very hard to maximize our PR opportunities for our membership. Just on a general note, this year we've done a significant amount of research with our membership, and one of the areas of research we've been probing on is on public relations, and really trying to understand from our membership how comfortable you are with that function in your business, who leads it in your business, if you're even able to focus on it whatsoever, given the priorities in your business. Some of you are small, some of you are obviously more mature. So depending on the stage of business cycle that you're in, we've seen a variety of different responses from our membership. But our goal is to better understand how we can service you in this particular area. So we're going to spend the next couple of months listening to the feedback that we're receiving and trying to design programming around the public relations function so we can better serve our membership in every way possible. One of the basic fundamental things we can do is to help prep you for the show where you have access to the press, and making sure that you are maximizing every opportunity you have on and off the show floor to get your products in front of the press. Whether it's an existing product that you're optimizing, whether it's a new product that you're launching, or whether it's just general stories you want to tell about your company. The press loves those personal stories, and so we're trying to get you ready so that we can maximize your time in front of the press at the show, and that is truly the purpose for today's meeting. Again, like I said, we're committed to taking a look at other ways that we can help our membership leverage press opportunities, and over the next several weeks and months we'll get back to you with additional opportunities and different ways we can help service you. In the meantime, before we start with the boot camp, I want to make sure if you have any questions beyond today's boot camp, if you just have a general PR question and you just want to be able to call someone for a few minutes, please feel free to reach out to me. My lines are always open. I always take the time for membership to answer any questions, even if it's 10, 15 minutes of my time. We're here to service you. So feel free to reach out if there's anything above and beyond today's topic that you'd like to talk about when it comes to PR. And my phone number where I can be reached is 646-878-0104, or you can reach me via email, laurasantella-saccone@specialtyfood.com. If you didn't get that down, you could always contact us at press@specialtyfood.com, and someone on my team will direct any of your questions to me. And again, feel free to call me. I'm always here to help our membership. So with that said, I'm going to turn this over to Gina from Virtual Press Office, who will take you through today's presentation, and look forward to hopefully seeing everybody at the winter show, if not definitely at the summer show. So Gina, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Laura. And thank you again, everybody, for joining us today. I am Gina Dennis, and I work with the Virtual Press Office. And a little background about us is we have been working with the Specialty Food Association to assist the members and exhibitors at Fancy Food, really to get their news and any content that they have available out to the media. And we would like to run through a bunch of things today for today's boot camp, from the services that we provide to you to really boost your exposure at the show, as well as some tips and tricks. We do know that sometimes writing a press release even is a little bit difficult, so we really wanted to hone in on some tips and tricks for you as an exhibitor to really get your brand out there for the show. So a little outline of what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be going over a little bit of background of the Winter Fancy Food Show for 2017. We'll also be covering the virtual press office services that we do provide to members and exhibitors. We're going to have a little bit of back to basics, so how to write a press release and some tips and tricks to support that. And we're also going to cover some additional ways to boost your exposure beyond some of the complimentary services that we offer, and give you some examples of a successful press release and really how to write what you're trying to convey and really reach your audience in the text that you're providing. And at the end of the presentation, we're going to leave some time for you as the exhibitors for a Q&A session. And there is a chat box on the bottom left of your screen. As I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, you all are on mute, so if you do have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat box, and we will answer them all at the end of the presentation. So today's presenters that we have today for you, we have the Specialty Food Association PR team. We do have Julie Stern-Montiero on the line, and she will be going over some of the overview for Winter Fancy Food. You have myself. I'm Gina Dennis. As mentioned, I am the Event Marketing Manager at Virtual Press Office. We have Katarina Liu. She is our Senior Customer Content Specialist. She is the one that's going to be working directly with all of you for posting your materials onto the Fancy Food site. And we also have Cindy Black, who is an Account Manager at Virtual Press Office. She is going to be helping you with any of your news distribution and PR newswire needs. So I'm going to throw it over to Julie, who is going to go over some of the Fancy Food stats.
Great. Thanks, Gina. Hi, everybody. I'm Julie. I've been working with the Specialty Food Association on the shows for about 4 years now, and really excited to be back for the winter show for this year. Just wanted to fill you in on a few things that we have going on, some you may know about and some that are new for this year. So first off, we've got 400 press, over 400 press who will actually attend the show this year. We're really looking at a good mix of trade press, business press, and consumer press, all within print, broadcast, and online. So a really great mix to hopefully capture everyone's needs. We just sent the first media list to all exhibitors, and we'll continue to update that list for you over the next few weeks. But if you've not received that list for any reason, please don't hesitate to email me after the webinar. We'll make sure you get that list and that you're on the upcoming list as well. Just so you know, at the show we also have the press office. And this is where all the press come to pick up badges, get information, check in with the PR team to get their story ideas. So we invite you as exhibitors to please drop off press kits for the press in that office. Space is limited and first come, first serve. So we do encourage you to come Saturday morning before the show opens, drop off any materials. We recommend about 50 press kits, and we recommend you divide those up throughout the show, so maybe check back every day to see if you need to replenish. And I know a lot of you prior to this call had asked about the format for a press kit. And our feeling is simple is better for the press office. If you can do a large postcard that just features your logo, a picture of 1 or 2 of your products, 2 to 3 bullet points, and contact information, that's all press are really looking for. They just want to get that quick snippet to know who you are so they can hit the show floor and find you. If that's not possible, a simple press release works as well. You don't need to go above and beyond the folders, the big bulky press kits. Press just doesn't need that at the show, so definitely simple is better. And the most important thing to remember with the press kit is make sure your contact information and your booth number are on everything. That is the key. Your booth number especially, even if you have to hand write it, please, please, please make sure that's on there. And just as a reminder, no product samples in the press office. We also have a few new programs for this year that we're really trying to listen to your feedback, bulk up the press, get as many opportunities for our members as possible. So the first thing we're going to be doing is a daily press briefing every morning prior to the show opening at 9 a.m. And this briefing, we're going to share top news from the show, any trends or innovations that we've found, and then anything that's actually going on the show floor. So if you as members have anything going on in your booth, events, giveaways, special guests, please communicate that back to us because we would love to share it with the media to help get them over to your booths. And you can email all of this information to us at press@specialtyfood.com. The second program that we have going on for this year that's brand new is our concierge program. And we're really trying to focus in on top-tier media within trade, business, and consumer press to really give them a different experience at the show. So we're going to be hosting a breakfast on the Tuesday morning of the show where Phil, our president of the Specialty Food Association, will speak. We'll be unveiling innovations and just giving them a little bit more information about specialty food and the members who are there. We'll also be helping to guide these media to booths and companies to make them really feel special and to make sure they're getting everything they need for their stories. So we really encourage you, if you haven't already, to please send any product information, company history, fun facts to us. Please update your marketplace pages. If you don't know how to do that, please reach out. We can definitely walk you through that. And definitely stop into the press office and just talk to the press team. The more information that we have about your product and your booth and your company, the better that we can help guide press to you. So really just share as much as you can. And that's all we have for now. Again, feel free to ask questions later or reach out throughout the coming weeks. And in the meantime, I'll turn it back to Gina.
Great. Thank you, Julie. And now we are going to be covering the virtual press office service. Virtual press office is providing, from Specialty Food Association, they will be providing a complimentary service for members and exhibitors for Fancy Food Show. So I'm going to hand it off to Trina, who is going to outline this service for you.
Thank you, Gina. So the virtual press office service is a complimentary service that Specialty Food Association provides its exhibitors and members throughout the year. So just to detail a little bit about what's included in the complimentary service, exhibitors or members receive 3 complimentary press releases for winter fancy food that will be featured on the Specialty Food website under the member news section that you see to the right. You also receive 3 complimentary press releases for the summer fancy food that will be featured on that same Specialty Food website under member news. And then finally, you receive 3 complimentary press releases for any general year-round news you may have. And the reason Specialty Food Association provides this service is to help you get the most visibility for your product and brand. As you can imagine, the fancy food shows are huge, and so a lot of buyers and media need to plan what booths to visit before the show. In fact, there's a statistic that many trade show consultants cite that says up to 70% of attendees plan what booths to visit before stepping foot on the show floor. So submitting press releases will get your news in front of media, buyers, and influencers that are interested in what you're presenting at the show, and therefore will help buyers and media take note and plan to stop by your booth. So now we're going to go into how to submit your complimentary press releases. The first thing you're going to want to do is go into specialtyfood.com, and when you go there, at the very top you can hover over Specialty Food Association, and then from the pull-down menu you're going to select Press Office. And then from there you will select Press Resources for Members. And then to submit your complimentary release, you're going to click on Upload Releases button. So once you click the button, you will be prompted to log in with your Specialty Food member login that you received from the Specialty Food Association. And then you will be prompted to fill out a form with your contact information so VPO can contact you with questions. The contact information in the form will not appear with your press release. Only contact information that appears within the press release that you submit will show with your release on specialtyfood.com. And as a side note, we do recommend having a contact on releases so readers can contact you with questions. You can only upload press releases in Word document format, so keep that in mind when you're uploading your release. And 1 image can be included per press release. Usually we recommend having the image embedded in your Word document. However, if it's not embedded in the release, you can email us the image separately to files@vpoinc.com after your submission is complete. And there are no deadlines to submit your press releases. However, we request you send in your releases for Winter Fancy Food Show by Monday, January 15th for guaranteed posting for the opening day of the show. And if you have any embargoes or any special timing instructions for your release, you can indicate that in your release or in the special instruction field of the form. And for any issues with login details, please contact membership@specialtyfood.com. And for any other questions, please contact us at files@vpoinc.com, or you can call us at 973-783-7787 option 0. We're here for any questions, not just problems with submitting your release, but we're here for any type of content questions, any ideas. We want us to be viewed as a partner and not just a free service. And these are some of the benefits of the complimentary virtual press office service. So you're going to have increased visibility when you use this service. Your news will be easily accessible on the Fancy Food website. You'll reach new audiences since your press releases are proactively distributed to the attending media, as well as VPO's database of food industry journalists and professionals. You'll also receive a report at the end of the Winter Fancy Food Show that shows the names and media publications that receive your news releases. And you can also take advantage of our exclusive premium PR Newswire discounts, which we will go into detail later in this presentation. And just a note, if you want your news to appear in the Specialty Food newsletter, please email your release separately to news@specialtyfood.com.
Thank you, Trina. All right, so now we're going to move on to back to basics. So we really wanted to touch on how to write a press release. Like I said before, I know sometimes that might be a little bit difficult to craft on your own. Some companies, we understand, have a small or no PR team, that they're doing it themselves and not really sure how to craft a press release. So I'll be going into just a little bit of the basics of what a press release should include, and this is just a general guideline for you. So for a press release, it absolutely needs to have a headline. Get the readers to click on the link of your story. If you write a headline that you're targeting for a publication or writing a headline that's interesting enough to tweet, it's going to get a lot more views and noticed a lot better. So definitely keep in mind your headline and what you're trying to convey and what message you're trying to get across. So your subheadline should entice the reader to consume the content, and it adds a little bit more detail than the headline does. So for example, if you're launching a new product, what are the product names? When are they coming out? Just give a little bit more detail that you won't necessarily be able to provide in the headline. Dateline is also extremely important. Make sure you include the city of which your press release is coming out of. So I've seen this done two ways, whether you would like it to come the city to be the city where your company is, or the city where Fancy Food is being held. So you can definitely do it one of either way. And also the date of your release, when you're issuing this news. So your lead sentence, make sure you set the hook in the reader's attention. You definitely want to get that hook in there because our attention span is really short. So if you have a really great lead sentence, then it's going to entice the reader to read more. So keep them moving towards the objectives and making sure your key message and call to action are really with the most important information. As you scroll down to a press release, you may lose people mid-press release or something of that nature. So make sure that a lot of your important information is in that lead sentence or the lead body of your press release. So your call to action, as I just mentioned, most readers won't make it to the bottom of the page. So insert your call to action in the first or second paragraph. Restrain using links that direct reader to specific call to action. So just make sure that you do have these links to give them or provide them another additional information. So copy body. Tell your story, add dimension and readability with quotes, bullet points, and paragraph heads in bold text. So you really want to make your copy readable. You don't want to reader, just really try to have natural language and give the reader reasons to keep going. Bold font and proactive section headers draw readers' eye in and build more attention. So if you have a specific date that something's launching, or you want to make sure that your brand is being seen, the brand name, make sure that that's in bold so people's eyes move to those specific points of detail. And this is also really important, your boilerplate and your media contact info. So your boilerplate is going to include your brand and company description and establish your brand's credentials. And your media contact information is very, very important to make sure you give journalists, the details they need for their story, as well as any follow-up. If they want to do a follow-up with you, they need someone to contact. So whether it be a general email to your press, your personal email, really make sure you have some sort of contact information underneath your boilerplate. And also something that's extremely important is visuals. Fancy Food is an extremely visual show. A lot of people have really cool products that they're introducing or they're rebranding. So make sure that you're including the visuals of your product or of your company or anything like that, just to differentiate your content and really pull the entire press release together. And for here, I've added some resources for you. I didn't want to go through all of this stuff all at once and throw too much information at you, but these are some resources that you can click back in when we are done with the presentation. I will actually be sending you all a copy of the recording as well as a copy of just these slides. So you'll be able to click into these hyperlinks if you want to get additional information on some basic tips and tricks that you can use for your PR efforts at Fancy Food Show. All right, so now we're just going to go in some tips and tricks. So we went through the basics. We're really going to touch on some things that'll make your press releases stand out, especially at Fancy Food Show and really any trade show that your company is attending. So Trina, I'm going to hand it over to you, and we're going to go over a few of these slides together.
Okay, so some of the tips and tricks we recommend is step one, incorporate the event name into the headline or subhead. So headline is really precious real estate, and it should be under 100 characters, with the most important words being featured in the first 65 characters. However, it is worth it to have the show name occupy some of the headline or subheadline space because it enhances discoverability of your content within the conversation around the event. So it really does help with the SEO, search engine optimization of your release when people are searching for content around Winter Fancy Food Show. You also want to feature a clear call to action. It basically asks, what do you want readers to do next, whether it's directing them to an online press kit filled with further resources, or getting them to your website, or giving the audiences the tool they need to dive deeper into your content. You definitely want to have a clear call to action in your release, just to kind of give a purpose to your release other than just putting content out there. And then you'll also want to utilize multimedia elements to create a visual story dynamic. Adding visual assets to the press release will not only help increase views and engagement, but will also give the media a compelling reason to use your content over a piece of plain text. And oftentimes journalists are required to have some sort of multimedia element when they're printing a story. So it's important that you include that so that they are able to easily write about your content and have that piece of multimedia content right there. And you also want to use natural language and disruptive formatting. Industry jargon can seem impossible to avoid in niche trade releases, but writing in more natural terms for a human audience will win you points with both readers and search engines.
Thank you. And just some other tips for you. Don't forget about your booth number. These details are really crucial, and to include your booth number, it really makes it easy for attendees to find where you are on the show floor. So make sure that you're including that somewhere in your release. And also add any information about what's going on in your booth. Are you having a giveaway? Are you scheduling a demo? Really any fun or informative things that are going on in your booth, make sure that you're including in your press release. And take advantage of social media. I'm going to be touching more on social media a little bit later, but just make sure that you are sharing your information on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, really all the outlets to people are going to be looking on social media to get all of the fun stuff that's going on and all the important happenings surrounding the show. And also don't forget to use Twitter's event hashtag, which is WFFS17. This is going to have your release or any other information that you want shared to an audience that you might not have reached. You know, it goes past your followers. If anyone's looking for fancy food information on social media, they'll be able to easily find it with this hashtag. And timing. So we get this question a lot, when should I send out my release? And really the answer varies based on when your company wants it distributed. But we do have this little tip that try not sending your release at the top of the hour. So 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m. A lot of people schedule their press releases at the top of the hour, which means that when all of these press releases go out, you're going to be pushed to the bottom, and just because they're just being distributed at the same time. So if you schedule a release to go out at 9:04 a.m. or 9:05 a.m., your release is going to have a better chance of staying at the top of the distribution list and the list on the Fancy Food Show for a longer period of time, because then you'll have the rest of the hour typically until the next round of press releases are going to go out. So try to keep that in mind when you're seeing, you know, placement and where you're going to stay for your press release and how long your press release is going to be able to stay at the top of the page. So this is a press release sample. This is actually what your press release will look like on the Fancy Food website. We picked this press release to show to you because it actually touches on all of the tips and tricks that we just went over today in one press release. So this is Tazo Chocolate to showcase 3 new Amaze bars at 2016 Summer Fancy Food Show, booth number 4408 with the dates. So it calls out the Fancy Food Show, which is great in the headline. It gives their booth number right in the headline, and it also says what they're doing. They're showcasing 3 of their bars at the Fancy Food Show. And this also provides a product image. So people want to see, that's great that you're presenting something at the show, but they want to see what you're presenting. So obviously you see here that they added the product image to keep it a little bit more visual. And they also use natural language in this press release. I know it's a little small and you can't really read it. That's why this headline is actually linked, so you can go back to it for a reference if you want to actually read the entire thing. But I pulled a quote from this press release, and it says, "This bar will make you want to eat chocolate for breakfast. Something about the satisfying gritty texture of our stone ground chocolate and the classic combination of maple and pecans reminds you of making pancakes in a cast iron skillet by a crackling fire." Like, that just gives you a complete image of what this thing tastes like, and you can kind of relate to it. You think back of you making pancakes, and you're like, okay, yeah, I definitely want to try something like this. So it's a really fun quote, and it pulls in the reader. So keep that in mind when you're writing your press releases. Make it fun, make it descriptive, and make sure you want people to come to see your product. So now I'm going to go throw it over to Cindy. She is going to be touching with you today some additional ways beyond the complimentary service to boost your exposure at the show.
Thank you, Gina, and thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Cindy Black, and I've been with the Virtual Press Office for 7 years and working with the Fancy Food Show the entire time, so I'm very familiar with the show and would love to work with all of you offline, off this conference call, to really help consult with you for your full communications during the show to help you achieve your goals and also stay within your budget. And although Fancy Food is very generous and offering some complimentary services, there's ways that you can piggyback on that and also have additional exposure for the show and not be really expensive, but really capitalize on what you're doing at the show. So the first thing, there are a couple of options that we have with the online press kits as well as the Newswire. You can do one or the other or both. And again, I'm happy to talk with all of you offline and talk about how you can utilize these the best. So here's an example of an online press kit. And basically what this is a branded microsite. So it's your own mini website for your company and booth at the show. And in this example, you can see that the actual features are all of your company branding are on this site. At the top, you would have your company logo and or banner. Below that, a company description, your PR and marketing contact person on the left, and then also on the left, all of your content. So besides the up to 3 press releases that you would be submitting already to Trina here to have uploaded, you can post those and additional content. For example, if you think about what you're bringing to your booth at the show. You may be bringing brochures, catalogs, recipes. You may have videos of your products and how they're made, or videos of making a recipe. That can all be included in this one place. And to go back to what Julie said in the beginning, in the press room she suggested don't bring a lot of literature. The journalists don't want to be picking that up. They may want to just pick up a postcard that features your company name and booth number. You can also have a link to this press kit on that postcard. And again, all of your content would be available in one place besides the press releases. I work with an exhibitor that attends several trade shows throughout the year. And what she does is she doesn't bring any collateral at all to the shows. She simply brings the link to her press kit and has it available on the back of her business card. And what she does is, the reason she does that is she has a lot of high-resolution images that she wants the media to use. And instead of them having to dig through her entire website, she has all the images specific to that trade show, because each trade show stands alone with the products that she's featuring. And we also suggest that besides printing out the link on the back of your business card, you can also use that from the show floor from your cell phone. So, for example, you can keep the URL up on your mobile phone, and you can share it with anyone that comes up to your booth, whether it's media or buyers or other attendees. And there's an email icon at the bottom of each page of your kit, and it would the URL auto-populate into the email. So it's very simple. So again, this is an example of what the entire press kit looks like. And there are different levels. So really it just matters, depends on how much content you have and also what your budget is. The micro press kit does include up to 3 additional documents, and the premium press kit includes more documents, also more functionality, and it's much more interactive. You can have what we call lead generation button. So if you want to capture media leads from your booth or other types of leads, you can do that. If you want to schedule demos, we also mentioned giveaways. You can also promote through the press kit that way. And just to kind of highlight some of the benefits again, all of your fancy food content would be in one place, in one location. And we also stress the importance of having that content available before, during, and after the show. If you have something online and the link is live, you can share that at any time. You can include the link, as I mentioned, on your postcards, in your press releases, and also in social media. Also, it does ultimately save you money and time. You don't have to ship all that extra collateral to your booth. You don't have to have extra materials in the press room. It's all available online with that link. And as I explained earlier, it's easy to share. You can share it from your booth or just have the link on the back of your card or on your postcards. You can also, we encourage you to share it in social media. And also with everything being online, it is flexible. You're already emailing Trina your press releases to files. You can email her your content at any time. And also, if anything exciting happens during the show, you can email that to us. Maybe you take photos from the show. Maybe you're taking videos. Someone comes to your booth and you want to highlight that. Take a picture, take a video, email it to Trina. And also, you can have more of a post-show wrap-up media advisory as one of your 3 releases. Also post it to your kit saying, we had a great show, and highlight the successes that you had during Winter Fancy Food. All of the press kits are search engine optimized. If someone Googles you, most likely you will appear. Your whole entire press kit would appear in the search results. And the report, the press kit includes distribution and reporting. So all the press releases in your press kit will be distributed to the media attending, the registered media, and at the end you will receive weekly and then monthly reports of the traffic that goes to your kit.
Thank you, and I just wanted to add, because someone actually asked this question, so I wanted to answer it now. The costs for an online press kit, they vary. So we do start with the micro press kit for $3.99, and then we go up all the way up to a premium for $9.99. And all 3, micro, standard, and premium, have different functionality as well as different number of documents. So micro, you can include 3, standard, you can include 6, and premium, you can include 10. And as you go up with those press kit levels, you also get additional functionality. So back to this slide, actually, if you click on this micro, standard, premium link at the bottom after the presentation, you can look through all of the differences between the press kit levels. Sorry, Cindy. Go ahead.
No, thank you, Gina. I think it's a lot of information, and as I mentioned, I'm happy to walk through examples and help you put it together offline at any time between now and during the show. And the other option that you can have in addition to the press kit or instead of is PR Newswire distribution. And for those of you who are not familiar with PR Newswire, we've been in existence for over 60 years. I have phenomenal relationships with the media. We are the #1 trusted news source syndication network. And how it works is, as I mentioned, you're already sending your press releases to Trina for upload on the Fancy Food site. We can also distribute those nationally over the Newswire. You don't have to have an account with PR Newswire. As an exclusive Fancy Food member benefit, you can receive up to 50% off their rate card, which is really good, and we'll take care of all the heavy lifting for you. Again, you just tell us the date and time zone, and we'll take care of that. The press releases are distributed to newspapers, TV, and radio stations in all 50 states, as well as to industry trade magazines nationally. So these will be the media that may not necessarily be at the show. So it is going nationally beyond the show to the newspapers, TV, radio stations, trade magazines. We also post it to over 4,500 online services and databases. So if you want your news to get to Yahoo and Google and a lot of the online sites, this is the way that it would get there. All the press releases are search engine optimized on the back end by us. We post it to prnewswire.com and to our media-only website, which journalists subscribe to from all over the world. If you send a press release out over the Newswire, you will also receive visibility reports. So you will have actual metrics and reporting of everyone that's clicked on your press release from prnewswire.com and PR Newswire for journalists. So basically with the online press kit and the PR Newswire distribution, it's a way to gain additional exposure beyond the show. You're already investing all of your time and effort to be at the show, but you may want the rest of the world to know that you're there and you have these new products and they're available to them, especially with the online distribution portion, not only will the media have access to your news, but also buyers and consumers. So the turnkey solution is available to you to help you drive traffic to your booth, your website, and your company. And so would love to, like I said, work with you to help you achieve your goals and stay well within your budget for the show. And we also have touched on with the kind of with the tips and tricks, the same thing goes when you're sending out a press release over the wire. If you add an asset, a photo or a video, you will get a lot more visibility and more engagement by adding the multimedia. I think it's an attention grabber, and people are more inclined to watch a video or identify with your company by looking at a photo. And we've talked about if you were going to buy a pair of shoes, you might not necessarily, you can read about how great the shoes are, but when you see that picture, that's what you connect with and makes you want to learn more about buying that pair of shoes.
Perfect. And we've also provided to you at the bottom of here a link to the upgrade options. So this is a separate form from the complimentary submission form. So if you wanted to take a look at, all of the different things that we have to offer for an upgrade option for the Fancy Food Show, you can absolutely click this link below. So now we're just going to touch on for you an example of a successful press release. This press release that we're going to be going over is actually a release, someone who utilized the upgraded services and sent out a PR Newswire release. So we wanted to go through some of the successful elements of this, and so you can see how well they did. And Trina, I'm going to hand it over to you for this.
All right, sounds great. So as Gina mentioned, this is an example of a successful PR Newswire distribution press release from an association member, Ethical Bean Coffee. And there are several elements that make this release successful, starting with the headline, which is short, to the point, and includes the company name. And the release has a photo to help increase engagement and show off the product. And as we mentioned earlier, journalists are often required to have an image or video, so it's important to include the multimedia with the release so that the journalists don't have to go hunting for visuals. And it has short, skimmable paragraphs, which is important because readers tend to leave pages with large blocks of text, as we don't really have large attention spans these days. And that is also kind of goes along with the disruptive formatting that we mentioned earlier. And then this release also has stats with tweetable information, such as 10 billion single-serve plastic coffee pods are thrown into North American landfills every year. This makes the release great for sharing on social media. And this release also has broad and niche appeal. It has broad coffee consumer appeal, but it also appeals to niche coffee drinkers that care about the environment. And finally, and most importantly, this release has a clear call to action. Again, call to actions tell readers what you want them to do next. And call to actions can be anything from directing buyers to try a sample at your booth, to directing readers to a launch page, or showing consumers how to purchase your product. So in this release, Ethical Bean Coffee directed users to Amazon.com, where consumers can purchase their pods, since they sent this release out over PR Newswire after the Summer Fancy Food Show, which is another good point. You can send releases before, during, or after the show. And now we're just going to go over some statistics that this release had. I just told you why this release was successful, but in order to know if it's successful, you need to have some way to measure it. As Cindy mentioned earlier, a PR Newswire distribution includes visibility reports which provide metrics on how your release performed on PR Newswire's website and PR Newswire for journalists. So this release had 524 views on prnewswire.com and PR Newswire's syndicated website network. This means the release was viewed 524 times, which is high compared to about the 200 views average releases get. The visibility for this reports for this release also show that 36 release views resulted from a search on Google. 29 views were from viewing the release on social media sites like Twitter. And the 173 media views were from journalists discovering the release on PR Newswire's dedicated site for the media, PR Newswire for Journalists. There were views from varying outlets like Gourmet Retailer Magazine, bakeryandsnacks.com, Book and Coffee Addict blog, and more. In some cases, the report can also show the registered name of the organization from which the user viewed the release. For example, the report for this release shows that big names like Canterbury Coffee Corporation and Green Mountain Coffee Roasters viewed this release. Finally, the most important indicator of success is engagement. Engagement means the reader was invested enough in your release to take action of some kind. This release received 20 engagement actions. 8 engagement actions were from readers clicking on the Ethical Beans call to action to their product on Amazon. 3 readers shared the release to Twitter from PRNewsWire.com. 2 shared to Facebook, and 1 shared to LinkedIn. Currently, engagement can only be measured if a reader engaged with the release on PRNewsWire.com, so those engagement numbers could be a lot higher. But someday, PR Newswire is hoping to have the technology to measure engagement of a release no matter where it's viewed. PR Newswire also understands that these numbers alone might not mean anything to you. Visibility reports include a metric called Industry Benchmark, which shows on a scale of 1 to 100 how your release performed compared to other similar releases. So anything over 50 means the release's performance was above average for that category. This release scored above 50 in all categories.
All right. Thank you, Trina.
No problem.
So now I'm just going to touch on some social media aspects, some tips and tricks for utilizing your social media during the show. So definitely announce your presence at the Fancy Food Show. You want as many people as possible to know that your company is exhibiting. And just like you would with any major product announcements, take a multi-channel approach to your trade show promotion. So as mentioned before, make sure you're letting people know on your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, any of your company's social media sites that you will be going to the show. Be a part of the conversation. While hashtag activity will peak during the event, many attendees and exhibitors post before to share their enthusiasm for the upcoming show. They'll also tweet before to say if they're presenting something at the show or they're debuting a new product. So definitely tweet before the show to be a part of the conversation. And as I mentioned before, make sure you're using the official hashtag, and it will be able to identify and connect with the attendees ahead of time. And be present on the right platform at the right time. So for example, Twitter is really ideal for quick live updates. If you have something at the show that's a quick update on what's going on, Twitter's a great place. Any additional hashtag usage, so if you have multiple hashtags for something that you're sharing, absolutely use Twitter. Multimedia, absolutely. We all know that Twitter, it's great for multimedia. Any polls and conversation monitoring through lists. So definitely use Twitter for these specific things. And Facebook and LinkedIn are suited for really big announcements, event summaries, blogs, and links to longer form content. So really anything that you have a huge chunk of information for, absolutely use Facebook and LinkedIn for those type of announcements. So we're here to help. That is the end of our boot camp. This is our contact information for everybody that's been involved in this presentation today. For any questions about the VPO service, that is the complimentary service, you can absolutely email files@vpoinc.com. And you can also email sales@vpoinc.com if you have any online press kit and PR Newswire questions. And that's also our main line, 973-783-7787. If you hit option 0, you will be directed to the correct person on the team to assist you in any of your questions. So anything related to the Specialty Food Association, so the physical press room, physical drop-off, press list, please contact press@specialtyfood.com, and they will be able to assist you. So now we're going to go into our Q&A section. I have received a few questions throughout the presentation, so I will run through some of those now. And if you do have any currently, then please feel free to write them down, and one of us will be able to assist you with those questions. So the first question I received from Sheila, she asked if there was a press release word minimum or maximum. So for your complimentary releases as well as the online press kit option, there are no word maximums or minimums. So you can send as many words as you would like for each of your press releases for those two services. However, if you do send a PR Newswire release through, there is a 500-word base for the price in the PR Newswire service, but you can absolutely include more words. It's just we have overage fees associated with that. And then the next question we have is from Dave. He says, "'Tis the season," very jolly. "When should we have been pitching traditional and online media for holiday coverage? Follow-up, what about Father's Day or Mother's Day?" So I don't know, Julie, I don't know if you wanted to jump in that one.
Sure, I can help you with that. So rule of thumb basically is pitch long leads to your magazines, anything that has a monthly or quarterly subscription about 6 to 8 months ahead of the holiday. And then for anything more short leads, like a magazine that's weekly, a newspaper, I recommend 2 to 4 months lead time, and then online about 6 to 8 weeks ahead. Since the holidays are approaching, I do recommend reaching out to online for maybe last-minute gift guides, but unfortunately a lot have closed at this point. So I would recommend maybe the next week or two you can actually start reaching out for Easter, Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day to the longer lead publications. So it's kind of the good time frame to use.
Perfect. Thank you. The next one is from Joette. She asked, how long does the online press kit stay up/live? So these press kits are available for 9 months. So it's a really great tool to use even post-show. If you want to continue to send out your information after the show, you do have a good amount of time that your link is going to be active. And then once the new show comes for the next year, you can absolutely re-opt into the service and make sure that you have a press kit for the upcoming event for the next year. Okay, so Arnell asks, registered media often use exhibitors' postings to solicit businesses to sign up for ads on their publications. How could we prevent this unwanted contact? So I don't know, Julie, if you have any suggestions on that?
So we do vet the list of press who come to the show, and they should only be editorial contacts who have nothing to do with advertising. We really do tell press they should not be soliciting, and if you are being solicited as a member at the show, please let us know because we don't want solicitations from press members of the show. So everybody on the list that we just sent out, or if you haven't received, we will send out again after this call, should be editorial only.
And just to jump in here, because we've had some members ask this question as well. Basically, you want to have your contact information on your release for, legitimate leads, but you don't have to put your personal email or your personal phone. You could put like a general press ad, info ad, if you're worried about these solicitations.
Perfect. Thank you. And then we received this question a few times regarding the actual presentation in itself. Once again, we will be providing this information to you. I will be sending over a copy of the recording as well as a copy of the slides, so you can click into some of the information and the hyperlinks that we have provided in the presentation. And this should be put into your inbox within the next hour. So be on the lookout for that. And if you did not, for any reason, receive it, you can please feel free to email the sales at email. I'll go back to that slide so you can see it. So the sales at bpoinc.com email. If for some reason you do not receive it within the next hour, you can contact us and we can send it to you directly. All right, let me just scroll up, see if I missed any. All right. there seems to be no other questions from during the presentation, so we can definitely wait another minute or two and see if we have any last-minute questions. And if not, and if you think of something after the presentation, as I said, please feel free to email one of those emails and to get any additional information that you may need. We are absolutely here to help you. We want to make sure that you get the best out of this show. So no question is too small, and absolutely please feel free to email us.
Better than Newswire, right?
And this is Cindy from PR Newswire. Julie, I have a question. Someone had asked about receiving the press list, and they can request that from you at the press at email.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then maybe you can address how they can best use the list so not to spam the media.
Sure. So we definitely encourage you to reach out to the media on the list. Everybody on the list accepted the idea that exhibitors can reach out to them. So this is not the full press list. It's only the list of people who are looking for exhibitor communications. So they want to hear from you. We recommend maybe an email right off the bat letting them know that you are going to be at the show, some information, and then maybe another email a few weeks out from the show or a few days out from the show, just reminding them that you're there, try to set up booth appointments. But definitely don't send weekly, daily emails. They have so much in their inbox that they will end up blocking you. So use the list sparingly, but to your advantage.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Cindy, can you hear me?
Yes, Cindy's here.
This is Laura. I was gonna try and type something in, and I realized it was going to take too long. One thing I think that may help our members, for those who are still on, is to help them understand if they're going to invest some money and time on a toolkit versus using the PR Newswire. Which is the best decision based on the size of your business, your budget, and frankly what you're trying to accomplish? Because someone may not be able to do both, and they probably won't. So if they wanted to make that additional investment, what do you think is the right criteria through which they should make that decision?
It really is based on their budget. The micro press kit for $3.99 is going to accomplish if they have new news or even just want to save money on the press kits themselves. Save money on taking press materials themselves, because if you have new news, it will be included in that press kit and pushed out to the registered press, and it's the landing page with all their other content, their photos, their videos, and things like that. So it's just, if they have more content, more budget, they can go up from there, but they're really going to be fine with the micro press kit as a turnkey solution. If they can stretch the budget a little bit and they have a new product announcement, I would suggest going with the Newswire, because it's a lot of value and reach for that price. But I can talk more, in depth offline, but either way, they'll be fine.
Yeah, so I encourage our membership, if you have any questions, please do reach out to the resources on this call, because I know you have, particularly if you're a startup or in your early running phase of your business, you have a finite number of dollars per year. You have to figure out, how many shows you're going to do. And we recognize we are not the only show that some members may be doing. We understand that. You've got, marketing dollars you want to spend, and you're trying to figure out, well, should I be advertising on the SFA website versus should I be doing news on the press wire? So I think there's a lot of different ways you can slice and dice this. If you have any questions, please reach out to the sources on this call. As I mentioned earlier, we as an association are here to serve you. If you really need some guidance on how to make some business decisions, we are here to help you do that. And I recognize when it comes to marketing dollars, I hear the membership constantly say, I only have a finite pool of dollars. Where's the best place to put my money? And I do believe, as a marketer, having done this for 25 plus years, it really depends on the size of your business. Do you have new news? Do you have existing news? What audience are you trying to go after? So, please reach out to us as you try and make some of these good, solid decisions for your business. We're here to help you do that. And I can understand how it could be a bit overwhelming with all of the options that you have and the finite budgets that you have to work with.
All right.
So it sounds like maybe we don't have any more questions. For those who participated, who are still on, and for those that had to sign out, thank you to everyone. This is I think our first time that we've done a webinar on press-related issues. So we are going to send a very quick survey just to make sure that it met your needs, and if it did, great, let us know what you liked about it. If it didn't meet your needs, let us know why not and how we can enhance it. Our goal, again, is to continue to serve you, and we're only as good as the information that we get from our membership. And, again, we are available to you outside of this webinar to answer questions that you may have. Just bear with us if we don't get back to you immediately, because we may get a lot of questions, but we typically try to respond within a 24-hour period. And again, thank you for your willingness to fill out a very brief survey that we'll send out after this, and hopefully you found this of tremendous value, and you will take advantage of it in some way, shape, or form for the winter show or even the summer show. So thanks again to everyone, and looking forward to seeing everybody at the winter show, and happy holidays to everyone.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Specialty Food Association, and thank you to my team, Virtual Press Office, and thank you guys for attending. We hope you have a great show, and like Laura said, we are here to help. So we'll be speaking to you soon. Everyone have a really great day.